let's just start off. When and where were you born?
I was born in Sewickley, Pennsylvania. It's right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, August 5th, 1981.
All right. Did you have any military in your family, or were you surrounded by any military when you were younger?
Yeah, I did. I actually had a lot of military in my family. It's weird. Like in my house, I have everybody that's in the military, their pictures on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
My great-grandfather was a police officer in Pueblo, Colorado in 1890.
Wow.
Usually African Americans are not police officers during that time frame.
No.
So that's like the main picture I have on the wall. And then his son, my grandfather, he served in the Army during World War II, because I used to go through my grandfather's drawers, right? And I saw a World War II campaign medal.
Wow.
His sons, who were my uncles, they served in the Air Force, and one was in the Army. And then everybody told me, don't join the Marine Corps. Join any branch but the Marine Corps, but I didn't listen to them. I joined the Marine Corps. So all of their pictures are on my wall right now. So like as I walk down the steps, I have like my I Love Me wall. It goes my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my two uncles, me, well, it's actually my wife's grandfather. He's in there too. Then my two uncles, then me, and then my son's in the Navy.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you graduate high school from?
I graduated from Freedom, Pennsylvania. It's a rural town. So, like there's a city, suburbs, and then rural. So in rural towns, I think all you can do is have bonfires and tip cows. So there's nothing in my town. There was a population now is 1,500. My graduating class was 79.
All right, wow. What year did you graduate high school from?
1999.
Okay. If you remember, where were you when the 9/11 attacks happened, and did that influence you going into the Marine Corps?
I joined in March 11th of 2001.
Oh, I see.
So prior to 9/11, like I said, growing up in my household, the community that I live in is really patriotic. Every Veterans Day we have a parade, and I live in a small community, like 900 people. So all 900 people would go out in the community every Veterans Day, every Memorial Day for a parade, and all of the veterans from the community would always come out. There's like flags on a bunch of homes. So, and back in the day when I was younger, anytime a veteran would come home, because the community was so small, we would all celebrate him. You know what I mean? He'd come home in his uniform, he'd have a sea bag on his back, so he'd be like, hey, Johnny's home, Johnny's home. So everybody, like me as a kid, when I was probably your age, we would run and see Johnny because he'd be just standing there in his uniform because it was cool. So our community really celebrated the military. I needed money for college, right? My community celebrated the military, and I was kind of like a wild child back in the day, you know what I mean? So that was a way for me to get structure, and I was actually forced by my one aunt to go into the military.
Oh, really?
She said, you're going down the wrong path, you're a black man in America, you're either gonna wind up dead or you're gonna go to jail. You're going to the military. And I was this tall when I was 18 years old, and I had an aunt that was probably about your height, and she punched me in the face. I would never hit my auntie back because I know it came from a place of love and caring. So she punched me in the face. She said, you're going to the military right now. I was like, okay, whatever. She put me in the car. She literally drove me to the recruiters on January of 2001. Drove me to the recruiters. She's like, pick one. I don't care which one you pick. And so I looked at the Army, I went there, talked to the Air Force, they give you the pamphlets, and the Marine Corps was there, and she's like, not the Marine Corps. And so, of course, that's the one I joined. So I joined in 2001, and to answer your question, does September 11th have anything to do with it? No. September 11th, when it did happen, I was stationed here at Camp Pendleton at the Chow Hall. I was with 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, It was 06 in the morning. We just got done exercising, and right after we exercise, we do our PT in the morning. We go eat breakfast. So I was in the chow hall, and they have TVs in the chow hall. I'm sitting there eating my omelet, eggs and stuff, and biscuits, and I see the plane go in. So that's exactly where I was at when it occurred, to answer your question specifically.
Okay. After the attacks, did you think that you would likely be deployed to in support of Operation Enduring Freedom?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I joined as an infantryman. When I went to the recruiter. You guys care if I use profanity?
Sure.
Okay, all right, cool. So I'll go back to being Marine Joe
Yeah,
rather than
yeah.
Dr.
Go
Latham. Cool?
ahead.
Please, I'm
So,
the four-letter word mom. Go.
They said when the planes hit, I was here in Camp Pendleton, and we were a bunch of infantrymen. So our job as an infantryman was to go fight. And so we were like, we're gonna go fuck shit up, right? And when I joined, I had like a really high ASVAB score. So my recruiter in the Marine Corps, he said, you can do any job in the Marine Corps. How about intelligence? I was like, no, I want to shoot guns and blow shit up. And he's like, how about the air wing? I was like, no, I want to shoot guns and blow shit up. That's all I want to do. He's like, all right, infantry. So I was an infantryman at an infantry unit in Camp Pendleton, California. And the tribalism of infantry culture is all you do is fight. There's nothing else. Like,
Yeah.
Our job isn't to be nice. Our job is to learn how to be badasses all day, every day. And then, like, when you're a new guy and you get to a unit, those other guys, they've been badasses for like 4 to 5 years already, right? So you have to try to catch up to them. So they are like pushing you to your limits at all times. And it's weird. I got here August 27th of 2001, and I was 20 years old. I've never left Pennsylvania. Well, other than the boot camp, I've never been on a plane. I never had a desire to come to California at all. I got here August 27th. I went out one weekend for Labor Day weekend. I went to Hollywood because it was like, in California, where should I go? So I just started driving up the 5. I see Los Angeles, I see Hollywood. First place I went was Hollywood. I meet a lady, we go on a couple dates, and then the very next weekend was September 11th, and I was like preparing for war.
Yeah. Where was your first deployment to?
My first deployment, so right after September 11th, we went on I forget, it was a quick reaction force for the United States of America on the West Coast. So that was considered a deployment, even though I didn't leave the country. I had to be on a 4-hour standby alert, an 8-hour standby alert, and a 12-hour standby alert because they didn't know if there was going to be another attack that happened.
I see.
And when that was occurring, like all of our gear, all of our packs, they were like loaded on an airstrip. So all we were doing during that time frame was rehearsing.
I see.
So helos would come in, we'd go to the armory, we'd get our guns, we'd go get our gear, we'd get on a helo, and then we would fly to Hoover Dam, and then we'd fly back here. And then I'd go sleep in the barracks. I'd go eat at the chow hall, go sleep at the barracks. So Hoover Dam was a target. The Golden Gate Bridge, that was another target. And I think that was it. So those were the 2 places. So I would literally get in a helo, I'd fly, I'd like look at somebody, like nudge me, like, hey, wake up, it's Golden Gate Bridge. So I'd look at it, and then I'd go back to sleep. And then I'd go back home to Camp Pendleton. So that was my first deployment here. After that, I went on a deployment to Okinawa, Japan in 2002. Yeah, it was in 2002. 2002, I went to Okinawa, Japan, and I was there for a year. So that was my first deployment outside of the country, but it wasn't a combat deployment.
Okay.
Actually, it was a combat deployment, now that I think about it.
Really?
I went to, all right, so I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan when Operation Enduring Freedom started. So when Operation Enduring Freedom started, there is a terrorist cell in the Philippines called the Abu Sayyaf.
Oh.
So we would get in helos, I don't know if you know what a 53 helicopter is. You know what a 53 helicopter is?
Vividly, yes.
All right, so the 53 helicopter, there's two that we would use. There's the 46 that has the two propellers on the top. The 53 has a propeller on the top going this way, and then a propeller going this way, and it has like a big hatchback. So we would get in little Mercedes green vehicles. We would drive them in the back of the 53. The 53 helicopter would leave from the ship, and then we flew into the Philippines. We landed there at a landing zone, and then we took the vehicles inland into the Philippines to go, it's called a NEO, Non-Combatant Evacuation Operation. Have you ever seen that movie? It's a movie with Samuel L. Jackson. You Can't Handle the Truth. He says, waste of motherfuckers. He's on the roof. Have you ever seen that movie at all? No, probably not. It's an older movie, all right? So a NEO is called a Non-Combatant Evacuation Operation. If America thinks Americans are, it's like, they're going to get attacked in a foreign country, they will send Marines to go get those Americans out. So it's like doctors, scientists, high-level Americans. So we drove in, picked up some people. I don't know who they are. I just know my gun was loaded. I was ready to go. Nothing happened. They got in the vehicle, and then we went back.
I see. As far as overseas deployments, did you first deploy to Afghanistan or did you first deploy to Iraq?
I first deployed to Iraq in 2004.
Okay. Kind of going back a little in time period, what were your personal thoughts when the Bush administration was talking of a potential invasion of Iraq, 2002, 2003 era?
Yeah. So us being in the military, and I was junior in the military at that time, I was so disconnected from politics at the time. I didn't really have thoughts. I just know the community of infantry wanted to go fight somewhere because that's your job. Every day, like our cadence, we're singing kill. Like we're saying kill, murder, death. We're saying like all of these like derogatory terms when we're running. That's just when we're exercising. We're challenging ourselves on a day-to-day basis. So like our whole job every single day, it's like seems like it's all week long. It seems like it's 7 days a week. Our job is to prepare for war and to fight. That's like me as an infantryman in my experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if there was any talks of any type of combat, that's like what you train to do. It's like a baseball player and you're practicing hitting, but you never get to play in a game. Mm-hmm. So us as infantrymen, like we're going and training all throughout California, doing all these cool missions here, but we don't actually get to like actually shoot a gun at something that real that can shoot back. So you, as an infantryman, you want that challenge, you want that validation, you want to feel that adrenaline.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that first deployment to Iraq like? What was a significant story from that deployment?
Okay. Significant story from that deployment. So that deployment, and it's going to be cool if I show this to you rather than tell it to you. I'll tell it to you and show it to you. How about that?
Sure.
Sound like a good plan? All right, so that deployment, I was a Lance Corporal, so I was in for a little bit, but not long. I'm going to show you a video. It's on YouTube. It tells you about that deployment. But it was a security and stability operations in Ramadi, Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the movie with that sniper that got killed in Texas? You know the movie I'm talking about?
Chris Kyle?
Yeah, that movie.
I haven't seen that movie, but I know of the story of him.
Okay, so Chris Kyle, I worked with Chris Kyle
Really?
when we were in Ramadi, Iraq. And during that deployment, up until April 6th, it was like going and shaking hands and giving like Iraqi kids food, playing with them, just like going in circles. And then on April 6th, something happened. I don't know what happened. That was the first time I got shot at, and it was the craziest feeling in the world because like I was like always shooting my gun that way. Yeah. I didn't know what the sounds of bullets were coming this way over our head, right? So I remember this day vividly. On April 6th, I was with Heath McKenzie, my best friend, and we're really racist to each other. So I call him Crazy Cracker. He's a white guy. He calls me Black Ass. That's just, we're best friends. It doesn't matter, right? Like that level of closeness, you can say whatever you want to your best friend. So we were sitting in the back of a truck. We went down one road and there was a tree down. And when we were going down, we were like flying out of our base because a Marine had got shot. So we were going to go help him and support him. And I was in a mobilized assault platoon, which is consistent of like Humvee trucks with Mark 19s on the back. Those are the machine guns that shoot grenades. 50 cals, the big long bullets. I was a missileman, so I shot the AT-4 and the Javelin.
Right.
I don't know if you've heard of those weapon systems. The Javelin's the weapon system is like the coolest one in the world. It's like a video game console. It goes on your face, and there's like a scope right here, and this huge missile. And then we shoot a missile, and it can either go direct at a target, or you can shoot it, and it'll go up in the air, and then it'll come down and hit the target. It's really called a tank buster, and it's made to blow up any tank that there is. The tank's weakest part is at the top of it. Yeah. So that's what I trained to do. My job, I was an anti-tank assaultman. That was my very first job in the Marine Corps. So my job was our two-man team, me and Crazy Cracker. Our job, if there was a tank, we would go take out the tank as just two people. So when that happened, the Marine got shot. We were going down the road to try to get to the Marine, and we couldn't get to him. One road was blocked. And then we went down another road, and it was blocked. And then all of a sudden we started to back out, and I hear these like loud bees flying over our head. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, we're getting shot at. Get your black ass down, man. So I ducked down, and then some guy in the front of the vehicle, he's like, I see him. Let's go. So he gets out of the vehicle. We all dismount out of the vehicle, and then our training kicked in. Like there is no thinking, there is no thought. You just start working. And so we all started assaulting forward to the enemy. On April 6th, that was, I don't know if it's changed now, which it may have, but that's the most U.S. forces that were killed by an enemy combatant since Vietnam.
Yeah, so, I think since Hue City, I think.
Something like that. Yeah. So we lost a lot of people that day. So they set up ambush sites all around the city, and the city was pretty huge, and they had been planning this from the day that we got there, and then they completely, I guess, started the mission on April 6th in the middle of the day. They were shooting Marines everywhere. They were trying to kill them, execute them, doing whatever they can. I was fortunate enough that I was in a mobile assault platoon, so we had the Humvee trucks, but they weren't, at that time frame, they weren't they didn't have the heavy armor. So they were like the training Humvees, so if you shot it, the bullets would go through it.
Yeah.
And let me think, I don't think there's anything else there. Mobile assault platoon, thin-skinned Humvees, and we fought back. So we would go and try to help out the other line platoons that didn't have vehicles, and they needed machine gun support because they were trapped down. So when they're trapped behind a vehicle and they can't maneuver out, they needed our vehicles to come in. We were in a firefight for so long on April 6th that I had no ammo. I was completely out, and I had 6 mags, and I think, I don't remember anymore. This is weird. 6 magazines. I think there's 30 rounds per magazine. I shot all of my ammo was gone, and then we had a reserve ammo in our truck. I shot all of that ammo, and I was down to my last 2 mags, and I was walking down the streets just shooting at people because they were shooting at me, which is the weirdest shit in the world. So I'm sitting there shooting at people, and I'm I literally have 2 mags left, dog. So I say that to my boy. He's I only have 1. All of a sudden, the Army comes out, and the Army was an adjacent unit, a unit beside our unit. Our Marine 2-4 was in charge of the city, but the supporting unit was the Army, which was like behind us, but they were like maybe like a mile behind us at the most, right? So literally, I hate to say this publicly, the Army saved my life. So they came out and they brought the M1113 trucks and they brought Abrams tanks. And the coolest thing in the world as an infantryman, I'll tell you, the coolest thing in the world is being an infantryman because everything in the military supports the infantryman.
Yeah.
So if there's a tank, I can go to the back of the tank, I can pick up the phone, and I can say, shoot the top left-hand window of that building. The tank will be like, Roger, and he'll shoot it. I can call in air, I can call in a helicopter, like everybody's there to support me.
Yeah.
So it gives you this like godlike feeling, which is horrible at the time, but I want to come back home, right? Like we all want to come back home, but it's crazy to know that everybody is supporting you at that time when it's like, we need your help. And that's what happened on April 6th. So the tanks came out and I was literally saying, the whole top floor, shoot it. And I didn't know that you had to be behind the Abrams when they shot. If you're anywhere, like even beside it, close to the front, it's a tank. Yeah. You know what I mean? It is so loud. Like when he shot the first thing, because I was like, yeah, I was like pointing to him like he can see me, but I don't know what I was doing at the time, you know? I was an idiot. I was young. I'm like pointing to it, and then he shot it, and like it felt like my head was going to explode because the concussion of the round going off of the cannon in the front, and I was like, oh my God. And so my buddy's like pulling me back, and he puts me behind the vehicle. But that's what happened on April 6th. And then from there, it set the tempo for the rest of the deployment. And then every day throughout that deployment, I was pretty much getting shot at.
Okay. I see. And was it during this deployment that you were injured?
Yeah, I got blown up on April 6th, that same day.
Okay.
My best friend, Sergeant Condi, he got shot. And I took, somebody threw a grenade at us, and the grenade went through, it hit my watch, and it hit my leg. I really don't know what it was. It was just an explosion. Yeah. Some people say it's a grenade, some people say it was an RPG, but the adrenaline is going so high, and you're shooting back and forth, and I really thought at the time frame that, you ever see Black Hawk Down?
I've seen parts of it, yeah.
You ever see a movie, and in the movies, it's like you can see the rockets come at you? Yeah. In combat, you can't see it. Yeah. So it's just like an explosion. Yeah. Right? So they go so fast. Like, I would thought that, like, you think, like, when you see a movie, like, you can just dodge it? Yeah, you Nah, you can't dodge it. So I was getting out of the vehicle at a different stop point, and it hit my leg, it hit my arm, and it blew my entire body inside the vehicle. Fortunate for me, the door was like at a 45-degree angle, so the blast hit it, and the main part of the blast deflected that way away from me. But because my leg was outside the vehicle, it deflected down, so it got my leg, and it got like my arm that was hitting it. So yeah, so I got jacked up that day, but back then it's just like, you good? And you're like, yeah, I like go back to work.
I see. Mm-hmm. Was there any? How did you? I imagine that they didn't just let you continue fighting, bleeding and stuff. Was there a corpsman that helped you, or something along those lines to patch you up and stuff? Yeah,
there was a corpsman that helped me that day. And afterwards, like my adrenaline I was running on adrenaline all day long. Yeah. So like after the Army came out, everybody was good. I was going to the chow hall and I just collapsed. Like my body just gave out. It just stopped working. And then they rushed me to the Army base, which was like a mile behind us. And I woke up there, and there was a pretty lady above me, and I'm just like looking at her thinking I'm in heaven. I literally thought I died. I was like, oh my goodness, you're beautiful. Is this what heaven is? She's like, no. And I was like wiggling my fingers and my toes to make sure I had all my appendages. But then I think I took a week off. They gave me a week off, but I didn't take the whole week because I I swear, the feeling of knowing your friends are going into harm's way and you're sitting there watching DVDs and movies, I couldn't bear with it.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, it was like 3 days. And then I was like, I'm going. And they were like, are you sure you want to go? I'm like, yeah, I'm going. So then I just went back to work with them.
See. Well, what were you going to show me?
Yeah, hold on. It's pulling up right now.
Yeah, sure.
I had to connect to internet.
Rules of engagement.
What were the rules of engagement?
Samuel L. Jackson
That's the movie.
with the hair.
Yeah.
Yep. I was like, oh my gosh, I know what he's.
See, you
That's
know.
you were quoting an experience. Yeah. How you would have expressed yourself, I assume.
Yeah, race the motherfuckers. That's what he
right.
said. All right, here we go. Hey.
We close tonight with the story of a U.S. Marine Battalion who have seen their share of fighting here in Iraq, their share and then some.
The 2nd Marine Battalion, nicknamed the Magnificent Bastards, has lost more men than any other single U.S. unit in Iraq.
While fighting was going on in Fallujah, a battle in Ramadi erupted.
Our main role was security and stability operations during that time frame, just to go in and we were doing handshakes with the people up until April 6th. We deployed in February 14th, 2004, and up until that point we were just working with the people, meeting kids, meeting the elders throughout the community.
So we were not expected to take that much contact. So the 6th of April started off as any other day.
We're going to sweep from east to west from the combat outpost to the government center. At about 08, my platoon left in echelon, and my 3rd squad got hit at the cemetery. So at that time, me and my 1st squad were heading west. When we were at an intersection, we got hit pretty hard by over 100 insurgents.
Attacked all over us. Half my guys were covered behind the vehicle. The other half came in here with me. We laid down spreads of fire and was just going back and forth. Approximately that day.
But on 6th April 2004, that's when the entire city erupted, and then a big battle ensued that lasted several days until the 10th of April.
Shoot!
For the most part, it was a face-to-face, looking across the street battle. In the buildings, you were up there, the enemy combatant was right across from you. You could see his eyes. There was no more hiding any animosity. They knew that we were there and that if we took any contact that we were going to fight back.
We were going in there to win hearts and minds, and that, turned the page. And it was full-fledged combat operations.
After the battle, it remained a dangerous place for years.
Lance Corporal Jordan Herter and Corporal Jonathan Yale died. So last April, Yale and Herter were guarding the entry to their platoon's camp in Ramadi, standing here, out of sight. Suddenly, this suicide truck appeared. 2,000 pounds of explosives heading toward them and dozens of sleeping Marines. This puff of smoke is the 2 Marines shooting at the driver. They killed him, but then the truck erupted. 6 seconds, all it took to turn this quiet Iraqi street into a moment both horrific and heroic. The top Marine general in Iraq personally interviewed Iraqi witnesses, then nominated the 2 Marines for the Navy Cross. They started the day strangers. Their shared valor made them brothers forever.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very intense.
That was my life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
When did you get out of the military, and why did you get out at the time you did?
I got out in 2016. The stars aligned, so I got a degree while I was in, only to get promoted. So I was a staff sergeant at the time, and I mean, you have to get promoted, you have to go to combat. So I was good there. I had a high physical fitness score. All of my, I guess, they're called fitness reports, but those are like senior level reviews, were always good because all I did was go to combat and fight, you know what I mean? So I went to school during that time frame because I wanted to like set myself above my peers. So I got a degree in psychology. While I was getting that degree in psychology, I started to learn about mental health. While I was learning about mental health, I was like in CONUS for a long time. And because I was in CONUS for a long time in the United States of America, I was on social media a lot. While I was on social media a lot, I started to notice friends from my like past platoons that started to lose their life due to mental health from being in combat.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna leave and do something to help my community. So I got out. I made it a mission to become a psychologist. Now I work at the Department of Veterans Affairs, helping out veterans.
Oh, really? Wow.
And yeah, I'm a psychologist. This is my office here. I have an office here that I'm a mental health provider in the community. And then 4 days a week, I work at the VA, and I have a nonprofit organization, Operation Shield, in which we do hikes for heroes. I also do free mental health services, and then we just give back to the community, the community that I'm a part of.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How do you feel looking back on your experiences in the Marine Corps? I don't know. Just how do you personally feel about your experience in the Marine Corps? How they have shaped you into who you are today?
How have they shaped me and who I am today? So I have this like concept about people who join the military. All right, you ready for it?
Sure.
So there's two types of people that join the military. There's wolves, and then there's labs. The wolves, they join the military to gain structure, to learn like rules and regulations and how to like navigate society without fighting society. And then there's labs that are just like nice people, and they join the military to gain like that killing and fighting spirit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was a wolf before I joined the military. It's the reason why my aunt punched me in the face and made me join the military, because I was like a bad, like a rebel type kid. When I joined the military, it provided me structure, community, a sense of belonging, and it kind of made me not feel like that lone alpha wolf. And then I had a family. So that's what it provided for me.
What are some advice that you would give to a younger generation, someone like my age or someone in my young Marine unit? What kind of advice would you give?
Advice?
Just in life in general, not even military related.
Listen to your parents.
That's pretty good.
It took me a while to realize the importance and what we have here in America. Like, we have a lot.
Yeah.
We have more than most people in the world. Like, we're complaining about our Amazon coming 2 days later, right? And we are so blessed in everything that we have. So the advice that I give to younger generations is enjoy your blessings, listen to your parents, of course, and just work hard. And it's not like you versus everybody else, it's you versus yesterday's you. So if you do 10 push-ups one day, the next day challenge yourself to be a better version of you. If you're always challenging yourself to be a better version of you, you'll never be stopped. You'll never be perfect, but you're going to be better than everybody around you, because you're just making yourself better on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's reading, whether it's push-ups, whether it's writing, it doesn't matter. Just challenge yourself to be better than you were yesterday. And I think you'll be fine. Everybody will.